Hi friends, hope you all are doing good. So in this video, we will discuss about the collision theory. So what is collision theory? The basic requirement for a reaction to occur is that the reacting species must collide with one another, and this is the basis of the collision theory. Simply first I'll tell you the idea of the collision theory. What the collision theory says that we have reactants and we have products. The reactants will collide with each other to make the products. Like there will be collisions between the reactant molecules, and like the old bonds will break and the new bonds will form. So according to this theory, the reactant molecules are assumed to be hard spheres, and reaction is postulated to occur when the molecules collide with each other. The reactant molecules will collide among themselves to make the products. Okay. So all the collisions among the reacting species at a given temperature are not effective. So the reactants can collide with each other in so many different ways, but all the collisions are not effective. So the collisions which actually produce the products and result in the chemical reaction are known as effective collisions. So only there are some collisions that leads to the product formation, and they are known as effective collisions. The other ones are ineffective collisions. So the reactants don't know how to collide. So it is just a probability factor that they strike with each other in a proper orientation to make up the product. So now there are two important factors. What are they? Energy barrier and orientation barrier. So we will discuss these two important barriers to the reaction. So first of all, energy barrier. So before discussing the energy barrier, you should know what is activation energy. Activation energy is defined as the minimum amount of extra energy required by the reacting molecules to get converted into the product. Now, suppose you have reactant molecules. So let me draw a graph. So here we have energy, and here we have progress of the reaction. Okay. So now the reactant molecules will possess some amount of energy. Let the energy of the reactants be ER. And the products will also have some amount of energy. Let the energy of product be EP. So the reactant molecules will give rise to product molecules via this path. So this energy, the minimum energy, this energy is known as activation energy or activation barrier. Okay. So the energy that the reactant molecules must climb. So just imagine the reactant molecules have to travel uphill. Like this way, they have to travel uphill. And then this is the highest point. This is known as the saddle point or the hump. So saddle point, and then they will fall to form the product. So the energy required to reach the saddle point is known as the activation energy. Okay, if the reactant molecules have energy less than the activation energy, the reactant won't proceed. If they have the energy more than that, then the reaction is happy to go. Fine. So they should have this minimum energy. If they don't have this minimum energy, then the reaction won't take place. I hope this is clear. Next, we have orientation barrier. The colliding molecule should have proper orientation so that old bonds may break and new bonds are formed. So let us take an example. As discussed here, just imagine a reaction between NO2 plus NO2 giving rise to N2O4. So here you can see in the A figure, in this figure, if you see, the products are formed when the colliding molecules have proper orientation. Here, N and N are exactly near to each other. So they are in the close proximity, they will approach each other and it will lead to the formation of the product N2O4. But in the second figure, if you see, the one N is facing the other oxygen. So this is the collision will take place in this way. So this is an improper orientation. The collision will take place, but the orientation is not proper. So it won't lead to the product formation. The molecules will separate out. Okay. So during the reaction, products are formed only when the collision molecules have proper orientation at the time of the collisions. And these are known as the effective collisions. On the other hand, when molecules do not have proper orientation at the time of the collision, they result in ineffective collisions and do not form the product. So what we have discussed about the collision theory. So for the reaction to occur, there must be collision between the reacting species, correct? Only certain fraction of the total number of collisions are effective. And for the effective collision, molecule must have sufficient energy and proper orientation. So you need to remember two things. So what you need to remember two things. The first thing is there must be collisions between the reacting species, and only those collisions are successful which have the proper orientation and the energy barrier. If they don't have that, they will be ineffective collisions and they won't form the product. I hope this is clear. Okay, so we are done with this video. Now, one important information that our institute also provide one-to-one online tuition classes related to any topic in chemistry covering your A levels or GCSEs. So if you want any, you can contact to the email given in the description box. I hope you enjoyed the video. Do subscribe and share it if you love it. Thank you. Bye-bye.